always made sure to keep one for myself. I was always a bit ashamed of it. It seemed to be taking from the cause, but even back then I knew that we were on the cusp of something extraordinary, something which posterity was owed a piece of, the just inheritance of future generations. Let us see, what else might be of interest to you? All of these ratchets are from before the ascent. Their blades are steel, not hard carbon, but the edges remain as sharp as ever. Do you see that one in the center, with argent and purple trim? A collector ought hold no more favorites than a father, but that was the sidearm of Amata herself. I know it sounds like a barker's pitch, but I can state it as a point of certainty. Many were the evenings I saw it on her hip, and it is said she wielded it with great distinction in the battle for the spire, though I admit I was not there to see her do so. We met at the academy, in my poetry seminar that first year. I was far too shy to speak, though this was not a problem for Amata. Tomorrow, on her feast day, you will see many an old man like myself outside of the cathedral, wet-eyed at her memory. So many were lost in those days, but I think never was there one more justly mourned than Amata. But it was as she would have wished. With her life's blood she ushered in our age, and her memory resides still with Balmelkart, blessed be his name. No doubt you know that Amata founded the Student Committee for Resistance, her and Lakip. Anyone who was there will tell you that she was the animating force. She organized the students into cadres. She walked at the head of the vanguard during the Sanguinary March. She held the placards when they were bathed in red. Alas, no. An intestinal complaint, would you believe the luck? One bad bit of street meat, and I spent 3 days retching on the floor. Often I think back on that misfortune and what I missed. To have been at that crux of history, the hub on which the great wheel turned. Well, we each have our role to play, as Balmelkart tells us. All are valued, from the lowest to the high. If you seek first-hand experience of the march, you might do well to visit Seleucus. He was among Amata's closest companions, and a great aid to the revolution once upon a time. He owns a club off the lower heights near the academy. If you do go to see him, you will be polite, yes? If ever a man has suffered, it is Seleucus. The things that were done to him, well, thank Balmelkart that you were born into the era of his benevolence. The lockets on the far wall? Remembrances, they were called. It was the fashion in the days before the ascent for lovers to have them made for one another. When opened, they present a simulacrum of the subject. The images have faded over the years, but you can still make out rough outlines. Sometimes at night I take one off the wall and wonder after the person who appears, if they are alive or dead, if they have grown fat or withered away, if the person they gave themselves to was faithful or treacherous, if they married and had children, if they loved those children, if they knew regret. I suppose most of them did not lead very happy lives, or they would not have sold away pieces of themselves. They were quite expensive at the time, though these days you can pick one up for a few copper across the Grand Bazaar. Less if you haggle. You have one yourself, a fellow antiquarian. But then you would have to be, given the nature of your enterprise. Is there a noble...